What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the stoop. Hope everybody's having a good week. Weather's been nothing less than perfect. So, sitting out here, it's early. You can hear the birds chirping. It's kind of quiet. So I figured I'd come out here and hit the record button. I got a story to tell. It's a pretty dope story. But before I get into that, I want to first give a big shout out to my bro, DJ Sincere, for hooking up the channel with some really dope blend music. If you checked out the channel, you'll see he's got some dope stuff in there. It sounds good in the big speakers. If you ever want to put it in your car, it sounds real good in the big speakers. So check that out. It sounds really dope. And I know he's only going to get better. So continue to check that out, and shouts out to him for that. But I got a story to tell. So the other day, I drive a Mustang. Let me start that off. Drop my joint. Excuse me, y'all. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. But anyway, I drive a Mustang. So I'm very anal about, getting my car serviced for the, routine maintenance, oil changes, tire changes, shit like that. So the other day, it hit them numbers, so I decided to drop my car off for, the oil change, the tire rotation, and I wanted to see about getting some new visors, because my visors are like, they like this, so so I said, I'd go ahead and get that taken care of. And, as what I always do, I drop it off. They'll call me you know, the next day, because I always drop it off the night before. And if you know, like I know, you don't never, and this is free game, don't ever take your car in to be serviced first thing in the morning. Like if they open at 7, don't be there at 7. Don't even be there at 6:30. Drop your car off the night before. What I've done is I'll drop my car off the night before. I'll park it right in front of their bay door. They have a night box, a drop box where you put your key in the envelope and you drop your key off. You put in right on the envelope what you want done, drop your key off, and they'll call you. They always call me like, 10:30, 11 o'clock, depending on how things go. And nothing ever after lunch. They always call me before lunch. Anyway, so I drop my car off, get it serviced. So they call me the next day. No, not the next day, I'm sorry. They called me that morning, about 11-ish. Before 11:30, I definitely know. So anyway, he was calling me to let me know, hey, we got your car done. And we was talking about the visors, how they was gonna have to go to the junkyard and get some used ones, and it was gonna cost it, and it cost way too much for the trouble. And when he said junkyard, I was already checked out. Like, nah, we not doing that. I don't want no junkyard shit in my car now. And then you're gonna charge me new prices. Nah, we not doing that. So I told him no thank you, but the other stuff he said, we got you squared away. I said, okay, cool. I'll pick it up when I get off. Tried to get there before they closed. They were already closed, which was no big deal. So the next day, on my way to work, because I have 2 vehicles, but this time I got a ride. So I got a ride, drop me off. I go pick up my car and go ahead on to work. So the manager, I call him the manager. His name is Brian, because I'm gonna give him props. Brian, who I've known for years, because if you know, they had an old spot, and now they moved into this new spot, which they've been there for a while, so it can't be really new. But I've known him since the old spot. I've known him since I've had my expo. So he knows me. Like I didn't have a name badge on or nothing. So he knew me. So anyway, it was about 7 in the morning. And clearly everybody was out busy because there's literally a line for people getting their car serviced. My car was already done. So I was just, let me pick up my shit and pay for it and go about my business. So he goes and gets the envelope, and he starts looking it over. He's shaking his head. He's looking at it. His breathing kind of picks up. I'm like, okay, I hope he ain't about to Hulk out. Because if you ever seen Brian's got arms bigger than Hulk Hogan. If you ever go to Deacon Jones Ford, you will see Brian. Brian busts out his shirt. Brian is, yeah. He lifts on his lunch break. I've seen it. But anyway, so he's sitting there. He's looking, I won't say flustered, but he's just like trying to, look at shit. So he's shaking his head like, he's like, I apologize for, but the car it's not done. So I'm gonna play stupid for a second. I'm like, well, they called me and told me it was finished. Like normally when it's finished, it's finished. So he told me and said, car's not done. I said, okay, well, he said it was done. I mean, we even have a conversation on the phone about the visors. He said, well, we got a new guy and it's not working out. And so at this point, I'm not even tripping. Like real shit, I'm not even tripping. I was just like, okay, well, I'll just go back home, get my other car, and go about my business. Call me when it's ready. So he was like, first thing he said was, he was very apologetic, which, okay, I'm not going to beat you up about it, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, what y'all doing? I didn't say that to him about it, He was very apologetic, and then he said the magic words, which I learned from my father, may he rest in heaven. He said, your service is free. I was like, word? Now, mind you, my tire rotation was free because I bought the tires from them. I had a state inspection, oil change, which came out to what? Like $100, maybe. So for him to, to take that on the chin, it was just the act of, I messed up, we messed up, let me make it right for you. But it doesn't stop there. So I was like, well, I appreciate that. I said, Brian, I appreciate that. Thank you. He said, I'll call you when it's ready. I said, okay. And I went on about my business. Honest to God, I really wasn't tripping because I had my other vehicle. I could take that. It'll get done when it gets done. I'm not at a loss. Plus, if, push come to shove, I get I get Rose to take me. So anyway, it couldn't have been I got to work about 8-ish. It had to be about 9 something. Maybe an hour. I get a phone call. We got your car ready. So here's where my stinking thinking kicks in. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, it ain't been an hour since I left you. You mean to tell me you got my shit done in an hour in front of all these people? Now, mind you, I dropped my shit off yesterday. It should have been done yesterday, but it didn't get done. So do I believe? A part of me says, I believe they got it done this morning because it takes nothing to do with oil change. Another part of me says something else. So again, this place has never done me wrong. I can honestly say that. This place has never done me wrong. So I said, okay. And I and then it was, again, he reiterated the fact that it was free, which, okay, I'm cool. You cool. We good. So he was like, can I drop it off for you? I said, and I'm dumb at this point. I'm like, you could do that? He was like, yes, sir. We'll drop it off for you. He updated my address. He said, yeah, we'll drop it off for you. No problem. So now I ain't got to rush back to get it, and I ain't got to go through what I just went through. So that right there is, and it was dropped off, no problems, no issues. I looked at it. Yes, the tires were rotated. I could tell. I checked the oil. The oil has been changed because it looked very clean, very clear. So that story right there is the definition of customer service. That's going above and beyond. Because not only did you not charge me, but you delivered it to me. You delivered it to the house. Now, mind you, I don't care for people driving my vehicle, but if it means I don't have to get up in the morning and rush out there and go through that again, my car was here parked in my driveway when I got off. So that right there is the epitome of customer service. And I'll say again, shout out to Brian at Deacon Jones for years of just awesome customer service. Like, I can go back to when I was at the old spot and I would go in there, and I guess this is before he became a manager. I would go in there and get an oil change from my Expo, and he was like, Mr. Wilson, we got you taken care of. I said, okay. He said, thank you, have a good day. I'm like, how much is it? It's like, it's no charge. He has the presence of mind to use your motor points, your Ford points. Because if you own a Ford, free game. If you own a Ford, whether it's from the dealership or whether it's from wherever, if you own a Ford and you take it to a Ford dealership for service, you get Ford points. Every time you take it in, you accumulate points. You accumulate enough points that you can get a free whatever, or you can get money taken off of whatever service you get done. So that right there is why now I don't know if you can do it with any other car or make, but I know definitely with Ford you can do it. And there have been many times where I've gone to get my car serviced and I'm using the last little bit of money I got, and they tell me, okay, it's no charge. And this is not just here. When in another town that I lived in for a little while, they did the exact same thing. So this is a Ford thing. It's not just a local thing. But I wanted to share that story because it was literally the highlight of my week. And I think that was just really dope. That's exactly really dope. That's why to this day I'll drive a Ford. Y'all can talk shit about Fords. My Ford is going strong. My Mustang is still fun to drive. It's got some beauty marks on it, but it's still fun to drive. It still drives like it always has, and it has not let me down. Well, lately, it hadn't let me down. For real, it hadn't let me down. I may have let it down, but it ain't never let me down. But that's customer service for you. Not what you think customer service is. Not people saying shit and not doing it. When you actually see it done, or when it happens to you, yeah, you gotta acknowledge that. So that's my little feel-good story for today. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Again, enjoy the music. Please check the music out. It's dope. And we'll see you on the next one.